Hello everyone, today we are going to be painting these poppy flowers in watercolors and ink pens. I will also talk a bit about watercolor papers. So here I have two different types of paper, hot pressed and cold pressed. The one from Italia are cold pressed paper, a bit rougher in texture, and the Arches one, which is a hot press smooth paper. All of these papers are 100% cotton, very high quality. I was a bit surprised about these Italia blocks because I first bought the smaller one and was surprised about how smooth the surface was for it being a cold press paper. But then when I bought the bigger one, it wasn't the same quality. It was much rougher in the texture. So that was a bit of a surprise, but all of them are really good high quality papers. And here we have a mop brush and a round brush, four paints, a cadmium red, sap, and Prussian green. And an ink pen for outlines. You definitely don't need to have this many. There are from different brands and tip sizes. Just go with what you're comfortable with. For flowers, I'm showing you two different ways of painting. This is the first one where you only have a single shape, and another one where we'll be painting petals separately to create some sort of overlapping translucent effect. Now I'm painting flower version 2. For this one, I paint each petal separately. We start by painting two of them, let it dry, and then add the other one. This is called wet on dry technique because you first let it dry and then add a wet layer. And this way you will achieve this translucency effect when you overlap objects. Now it's time to let the first layer dry, and as usual I'm using my hair dryer to speed up the process. When first layer has completely dried, it's time to add the next layer of paint. I will start by this flower, adding the rest of the petals to create this translucency effect as I talked about before. Now I'm adding another layer of paint to the single shaped flowers without changing the shapes in any way. I just want to make them a bit more saturated and add more contrast. While our first painting dries, I will show you how it is to paint the same flower on a hot pressed paper this time. So hot pressed paper has a much smoother surface. As you can see, water and paint flows a bit differently on this surface. A tricky thing about it is that when the paint has dried, you cannot really lift it up by wetting the paper, as I have shown in some of my other tutorials. So this makes corrections much harder. So here I just want to show you how important it is to choose the right paper and knowing about these differences, because for painting in watercolors, in my opinion, papers and brushes are very important to have a good knowledge about. And after the green layer has dried, it's time to add outlines with our ink pens. I do it very loosely. I don't want it to sit perfectly on the edges, so sometimes I go outside and inside of the painted area. And as you can see, I'm following the shapes that has been created by the overlapping paint. Now I'm adding outlines to the single shaped flower. Here we don't have any overlapping paints happening, so I just do that when drawing with my ink pen. Let's do the same with the one on the hot pressed paper, this smooth paper. So it's much easier to draw on this one, and I think it's a better choice for this style of painting when we are going over it with ink pens to draw on. For removing the tape around your painting, I recommend using the hairdryer to heat it up first. This way you won't end up lifting up any layers of paper which will destroy your painting. So here to the left I have the smooth hot pressed paper, and to the right the cold pressed one. As you can see, the outcome will look a bit different in style. Water and paint dries a bit differently and flows differently on these two papers. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please support me by giving it a thumbs up or subscribe for seeing more videos like this. Thank you for watching and happy painting!